Welcome back to Banished, and especially welcome to all of you that have decided to watch episode 2. I know there's 1,000 reasons people click on episode 1. How many videos, if you take a look, you'll see hundreds and hundreds or even maybe thousands of views on the first video and then many, many less on the second. So welcome back to all of my friends who decided to come back and watch episode 2. I would like to dive right back into it as far as let's start time back up. And we are doing 2 times speed for the most part, at least to get started here where things are dicey. Any small mistake and we're going to starve to death this summer. So what we're doing, just to recap, for those of you who might not, well, definitely go watch the first episode. It won't make nearly as much sense if you haven't seen it for some reason. If you clicked on episode 2, certainly would make more sense. But we are working diligently with 3 work builders on our hunting cabin, and we will have accomplished one of our bigger goals. So we have a fisherman. Let's see, have we actually gotten any fish? Oop, I didn't want to center on that. I meant to click this one. Yeah, we got 4 fish. Not overly impressive, but hey, it's a start. It should ramp up a little bit. Now, if you notice with the fishing hut, we can put more people on it as time goes by. So there's not a real big urgency to build the the second fishing hut. Now, I don't know if is it of a limited benefit to do 2, 3, 4, or do you get the maximum benefit by doing 2 separate fishing huts with 1 person? I don't know if there's, like do 4 people do 4 times as much or some limited factor after that. Not real sure, but the good news is while we're building this, we're getting enough for our woodcutter. Now the woodcutter is only so good in the sense that we're going to need to get houses for the woodcutter to supply wood too. But I definitely want to get our firewood going like as a secondary priority to food. And we really need to keep an eye on our population because as we build them houses, they'll have more kids and those kids won't produce any food or any benefit to our colony until they grow up. So really we're going to try to limit it to 3, 4, or 5 houses. Now I'm going to put a house here. It might even be the first house we build, just because I think that'll increase our efficiency quite a bit. I also want to get this road in as a 3rd priority. I'm not sure what priorities and how you count them, but getting food is definitely our first priority, and they're just about done this one. So I think it would be very safe to get our woodcutter going at that point. And hopefully that doesn't divide our labor up before. Nope, it didn't. Good. So now let's get immediately a hunter on the job. So that's hopefully all of the people. Now I'm going to leave 3 builders for the moment just to get this woodcutter done. But then when it comes to doing the houses, let's say, why not? I don't think there's any particular reason we would do a house before or after. So I think we're going to do the houses we need even before the storage barn. The storage barn is going to increase our efficiency, but the houses are also going to increase our efficiency. And as we get into winter, we're going to really want the houses because they're going to have a place to go get warm. And it will be good if they have that warm place closer to where they live. So let's keep an eye, and we want to make sure we always have them something to do. So I want to get even more trees. Oops, no. This is not trees. There we go. Trees. I want to just do it in an area as close to our stockpile as is reasonable. Yeah, that's a good number of trees, and we'll do the same thing. I know we want to get stones out of here, so maybe we'll lean. Yeah, see, all those stones are already gathered. I want to get them out of here, but I don't want to get too far away. There we go. We'll get those extra stones there. So that should keep them with plenty of things to gather. So if they're just laborers that are looking for something to do. Now, one of the problems is as we get more of this stuff ramped up, some of the laborers are going to be dragging stuff from here, and if they are, they're going to have to walk all the way down to here to put it. So that's where getting this storage barn going is pretty darned important. Good. We're already building the woodcutter, and that's great, just to get that out of the way. Now, I'm not going to assign anybody to it until we have more of the houses built. I don't know if that makes a lot of sense, but we really need to get those houses going And again, I don't think people are going to die immediately of the cold, but it just really helps their efficiency. Now, the problem we're also going to have is that once we start building houses, the houses are going to go gather up 100 or 200 food, and our food will take a big hit as well. So hopefully by then we'll have a little bit more of an efficient system going. There we go. So this guy, we're going to leave him. I'm just going to close him. I'm going to turn his work off for right now, and I'm just going to close him. And then, do we have enough for houses? Yes. So this is not a house. That's the storage barn. Yeah, let's go ahead and build this house first. All right, just so that it's done. And we'll move that up. And once we get the supplies there, well, we just want to get them working on one thing at a time. I want to micromanage this. They have to remove 4 things to get that house built. And I'm thinking maybe we do this house next. And I don't know, it doesn't really make too much difference. And then as soon as we get 4 houses, as soon as everybody has a house, and we'll see how that plays out. We might want to do 5 houses, but we'll see. We just want to make sure everybody has a house for the winter time. And as we get the first house built, I'll probably... Oh, look, we got another laborer. That's excellent. As a matter of fact, because of that, we are going to celebrate by making them... Let's go back to here, turn the work on, close this, and we're going to get a wood cutter going. Now, the limit is going to be 200 fuel, and that's actually going to be a pretty good limit for us. But when we do other things like the blacksmith and the tailor, we're probably going to reduce the number just so that we keep people laboring as much as possible. But these 5 houses are going to suck up a lot of the wood for us at that point. So, you know, we definitely want to make sure we get plenty of wood. Now, we're going to keep trying to clear out, you know, the area around here of trees. Leave these trees be and let them try to grow naturally on their own as much as possible. Again, we'll try to get the stone as it makes sense and iron out of here so that more trees can grow. So eventually we want to strip this whole circle of the forester's hut of trees. There we go. We're getting wood into our house. So that's mean we got the area cleared. And then once we get this house, that should help to improve the efficiency of these people that are working over here. And we could probably make the same argument with building this house, but we'll see. There we go. We got all the materials. So now what I want to do is I want to take one of the builders off. They shouldn't affect this house. And then we'll just have the maximum labor. So we only need 2 builders to build the houses. Now we need 4 to build the storage barn. So, but there we go. We're not really affecting the building at all. Now, one of the other problems, by the way, with building roads is they seem to prioritize building the road over building the structures. So that's why it would be nice if it was the other way around, but it's just not. There we go. So we got another house done. We still have enough supplies, and we still have them assigned to do more. So good. So probably have enough wood for the minute, but that'll go down. There we go. We got nice. Oh, good. That gatherer's 12 moved in there. Nice. So we got 4 people housed. So which house was this? This one? Yeah, that's fine. These will be quicker to build because they won't have to go far to get their supplies. Now they do have to do some removal here, but that's okay. Good, so we'll get this house built, and then let's get this one built and we'll see where we stand. So we're really gonna, one of the things we want to do, especially in the beginning, is we know we started with 4 families. So that's why I'm sort of shooting for these 4 houses. And what I'm not 100% sure about is let's call them teenagers, the ones that are, you know, just turn. Oh, good, look, we got another laborer. That's wonderful. That's great, because the more people working and the less children we have, the better. Now, once we get this house built, there's a chance they might have a few more kids. Now, the house has a limit of the number of people. Yeah, see, this house might already be at its limit. Like, in other words, they won't have more kids if the house is at the limit, which is absolutely fine for me. And we also have a female who is a gatherer there that's not one of the parents of the house that would, if we build another house, she would immediately go out and find her own house, I believe, after everybody else has got their house, if that makes sense. So in other words, if we build a fifth one, we know we'd get an extra female adult, which there's a good chance that one of these three people is a male adult. And that means we really want to be prepared with our food. Now, if you notice, our food seemingly took a pretty big hit. That could be because they're eating it, but it's also likely that, see all the food and firewood and whatnot they drug in? So that's over 200 and some food that they brought into their own house. So hopefully, yeah, look, we're in early winter already and we don't have the houses. And I think where that's really going to affect us is the fact that people won't have a good place to go get warm and get some food, and the places that they go aren't going to be necessarily close to where they're working. But we are building that house, so let's get this one unpaused ASAP there. And hopefully our laborers can start removing the stuff they need to remove, and we definitely have enough wood or stone for all of this stuff. So I can still hear trees falling. Let me come over to here, and I'm just going to assign those trees to be felled. We're definitely going to cut through a lot with the making of the firewood, so keep doing that instead of right-clicking. There we go. So we only got 2 more people housed, which isn't ideal. And see, that's what I'm talking about. Like, see, she met up with another partner, so instead of getting family, so we're definitely going to want to build the 5th house, if that makes sense, because we're not going to get everyone housed because we had a mating pair that left their parents, in a way of looking at it. All right, so having said that, let's get this house built, we'll get that house built, and then we'll get this house built. Then we'll do our storage barn. Yeah, see how people are cold? So citizens that are freezing, you know, we just really need to get these houses done. Hopefully nobody dies. See, they went and got warm somewhere. That's just not as efficient for them to do so, right? Like, because maybe they were all the way out here working at the fishing hut and they couldn't get back to their warm place, which would be that house over there. So there we go. We got everything removed from that house. Once we get the materials there, yeah, we're in winter. The snow stopped, but don't let that deceive you. It's still 34 degrees outside. But we're doing okay with food, right? It's really our priority is the food. Even though you hate to see them getting cold in the winter, you got to stay ahead of the food with hard. And harsh just makes it harder to keep them warm. Especially at this point. So how are we doing? We are doing. Yeah, we're getting the supplies out there. It's good that these houses that we're building ASAP are close, and we'll just have to see. Hopefully we'll get a family moved in, which will get as many people warmed up as possible. And I think that guy's dropping off the last bit. Yeah, I don't want to start this one until the workers are pretty well done that one. Or at least on it as far as like banging a hammer. Like when we actually see them both out there working on it. There we go. We got one of them working on it. This might be the other one. See, now the problem is during the winter. What is she? She's a laborer. Now you can, just in case you didn't know, come up here. What is it? Click on. Oh, here. Yeah, see, so we can see what he's working. He seems to be going in the wrong direction for working, but then what does she do? She's getting something to eat and then going back to work. Yeah, see, I'd rather them get the one house done than worry about anything else. Now these people should be happy. Yeah, so they got a lot less food in here because I think they didn't have quite so many people. But like these guys still took a whole bunch of food because they had more people, and then some people moved out. So it's really, there's no doubt I want more laborers, but it does hurt us in the sense that it's less people actually got housed, like because they weren't still children when that house was built. They're a young couple, which also makes them more likely to have a baby when they're young, which is good or bad. I mean, we're going to need the people. We just have to get past this first winter, and next, really the second winter is even, I don't want to say it's more critical, but you definitely want to, well, you just got to keep surviving, I guess, day by day, right? Okay, so these guys are pretty much done this, so let's get this one unpaused. And if you notice, people are staying warm enough. Now, which one did we unpause? Okay, that's this one. So that one will take a little bit longer to get the supplies down to it, but there we go. So we got 3 more people housed. And notice here again, we have that 11-year-old laborer who could form their own house if they found a couple. So hopefully there's no other couple for, I guess that was a her, to form with. And they don't suck up their own house. Yeah, so what are we missing? We've got this one to go as well. So we'll put this one down here. Yeah, food is low, but I'm not too panicked because they probably took food to bring it up to their house. Now, it's not great that they have to go all the way down there to get food, but the good thing is it's better than them going all the way down there to get a meal, right? Because if they go all the way down there to get the meal, then they are even less efficient. Like, come on, bring your food up. Plus, at times, their children will go get food and bring it back to the house. So it sort of really helps for them to have a house. And the good news is we haven't lost anyone, which is pretty, so far, knock on wood. There we go. Bad things can still happen. Now, how are we doing for stone? Yeah, we're still okay. Yeah, see this. Okay, she got cold, and sometimes that's just a feature of their, like, I don't know, what is she? You know, she's a laborer, so who knows where she was wandering off to that she got too far away from home. And how is our gatherer's hut doing? See, quite nicely, if you see. Yeah, we've got, what, you know, in the neighborhood of, that's 200 there. Yeah, so we got 300. Okay, so we're into the early spring, which means we made it through the winter. We still have a little bit of food. I know that's probably making me nervous a little bit, but it's just, you know, we just have to hope at this point that the spreading out from all the way over here to get the fish, you know, it just wasn't too inefficient. So let's just hope for the best there. Now, the fact that it's taking us a little while to build the houses is not a good thing, but it's not the end of the world either, because these people who don't have houses can still go get food here. So we really want to get this food situation under control at that point. If I haven't mentioned that food is going to be one of our biggest issues. How are we doing with this? So when it comes to fish, we got 104. So you can see that gatherer's hut really did a great job. But that's also probably going to go down a little bit because once they gathered everything they can, it goes down. So how are we doing here? There we go. So we got 6 leathers, which is actually pretty important for the future, because one of the other things we really don't want to do is run out of tools. So as soon as we get these houses built and even the storage barn built, the next thing we're going to talk about is getting a blacksmith going somewhere. Now, we're going to want to tend to get the blacksmith where we think in the future we're going to get, like, I could see us building a mine somewhere right along here. Let's go ahead and, so we could build a mine. Let's spin that around. Yeah, see, we could build can we build one here? No, but we might get away with that. No, it's a very particular thing to get all this over here. There you go. You can build one over there, build one over here. Alright, so let's good, we got another house done. Let's unpause this one. Yeah, so we only have 3 homeless people at this point, and we'll get this other house over here built. So now the problem we're going to have is just getting enough food. But the good news is it's spring. We should eventually get caught up on our firewood because it's spring. Yep. So we should really see the fuel limit's 200, and we have 200. So at some point we should see this guy get the little symbol for at the max. But there we go. So we at least survived our first winter, and we're into the next spring. And again, we just gotta hope. See, this is where we get to a real critical point, in the fact that, you know, are we producing enough food? You know, good amount of food coming from the gatherer's hut. Yeah, we definitely, this is like sporadic, but we could definitely use another shot of venison in the arms. So get out there and hunt some deer, buddy. Look, there's the deer right there. Just go get them. Go get them. Now, I've heard, and I don't know if this is true at all, that if you have a population, it'll drive people towards your hut. So, yeah, let's see. When we get this built, until we feel comfortable there, we got 66 food. That's really good. We want to make sure each of these houses keeps a supply of food because, see, that went back down to 0. So, because if there's no food, they might start starving in this house. You know, there's no food for them to go get at the wagon. There's no food anywhere else. That's going to be a problem for us. But yeah, we just really want to make sure we're on top of that. Now, why is... Okay, there you go. There, by the way, here's this guy has hit his limit. And then this final house, yeah, we just need to hope they... Yeah, the next thing, because... There we go. Everybody has a house, so that's great. So nobody's going to freeze to death immediately. We're not going to build this house until we get a little more stabilized. So do we have enough stuff to build this one? Yes. Let's get them working on that. But also, if you notice, our wood is going down a bit. So let's make sure that we are getting enough wood harvested. And then after you do the wood, now they will prioritize the houses. So yeah, why don't you come over here and get that much more stone. And that'll be good for now. You know, I don't mind clearing out this area of trees and everything really, because this is where we'll build up more houses and farms and stuff as we move on into the future. But so far so good. I'm feeling, you know, we got 800 food, or I'm sorry, 800 I wish, 188 food, but see, this guy doesn't have any food in this house. So for a little while here, we just really want to make sure all the houses have at least a minimal amount of food. Yeah, see, they at least have a minimal amount, and that's just what we really need. Now we have 5 laborers, so we're in pretty good shape with that. And look, we just had 3 kids born, which is a blessing in disguise. There we go. So we got food in all the houses, which is really a good thing to do. So after we get our storage barn built, which we're still removing the stuff, we can talk about, do we put in another house or do we talk about getting more food? Now, one of the other things that we want to do here, now we can build another fishing hut over here, but we could also build a trading post. Now, we don't need the trading post right away, but it's certainly going to be good that if there's some seeds available, we would be able to buy them. The problem is we're really just not producing enough stuff to justify it. But a lot of this stuff, you know, much like I do with the other series, we can pause and unpause things as we need to. Yeah, so he's good. We're settled. As long as we see our food going up. Now the thing is, do we have? Yeah, I don't want to get too far away with where people are working and living. So I'm just sort of looking You know, like, I don't know that there's not a reason we couldn't. You know, there's a lot of trees here, so it wouldn't be. What I'm thinking of is, let's go over to food. You know, is there a good place to put? I mean, that's really not bad. I mean, we really want to sort of maximize out. See, this is, you know, to be honest, this is probably the kind of place we want to build another Forester's thing in the future. Again, these are really kind of, yeah, if we built the Forester of the future, yeah, let's switch over to that. So that it was pretty, yeah, see, there's nothing, this would actually have been a better Forester's place. So I want to build this Forester just to where those two circles are touching. Oops, you know what, I'm going to pause the game because I don't want them even starting to come over here. Like, don't even think about building it. So we know we're going to put a Forester right there. And will we do another herbalist? Maybe, maybe not. Definitely not worried about that. We could always plop it in later. But we could definitely do another gatherer's hut. Right? And then what I want to do is, yeah, so there's, so they would have the shared road there. I just want to make them parallel. Alright, so we'll pause that. I'll close that. And then we would do another hunting. Yeah, so this is, and then I want to go down 1, 2. Alright, so then now we can pause that, but if we start needing more food, we could definitely do that. Now these people are going to be in a bit of a conundrum because they're so far away, but this is just sort of future plans. So let's put time back on. Now another thing I think we could do after this gets built is get some roads in here, even if they're just, well, of course, just the little dirt roads at this point. But we'll keep our builders building, we'll keep our harvesters harvesting. We don't have a ton of stuff, but that's to be expected, right? If we can get through the next winter, that's the key. And one of the reasons we're getting through the next winter is because we're going to sort. You don't want to limit your population to nothing, because then you'll have old people, and then you'll have a great die-off at some point in the future, which is pretty bad to try to survive. So we do want to keep growing as much as we can. We just don't want to outpace our food. Outpacing our food would be the worst case scenario in some ways. Alright, so normally what I would do, and it doesn't matter that much, is I'd put a road like here, kind of jammed up these houses a little closer. Okay, the storage barn is there. So what I want to do now is build this road all the way across there. And then, see, this is where this building is. And then I come off 1, 2. Where can it be placed? Oh, wait. Oh, because of the hill? There's a little hill right there, huh? Well, that's fine. I couldn't have built a house there anyway. Yeah. Okay, so you could build... Can we go this way? No. Not right here. No. Okay, right here. Alright, so anyway, yes, this is like part of the building, this isn't, so I like to usually leave like a 2-lane road around that. Alright, and we'll get that built. So that's a lot of road building, and you'll see probably what I'll do is we're getting close to where I want to end this episode. And what I'll have them do is just survive a little bit longer in between the episodes, maybe build out the road, just get their supplies up. Let's see. Now another thing we're going to want, you know what, let's come to here, and I'm just going to say remove all of the resources, because what they'll do, we don't want to do too big an area, but see how they're gathering up like herbs and stuff? So in the regular game, there's no particular way to say gather herbs unless you do what I just did. So, so we should get a few herbs and nuts and berries and stuff by having done that. But also, one of the next things we're going to do... Oh yeah, look, that is definitely more of a hill than it looks. That's a cool workaround. But one of the next things we're going to do in the beginning of the next episode is get a tailor shop and a... There we go, we're using that storage barn. So I think this is a good place to end it. Look, it just got empty immediately, but that's all right. It'll be a lot more efficient. They'll bring stuff to here. We'll have a little bit of a supply network. We'll get the road built out. So let me pause it here, and then we'll come back in the third episode of the series. Let's close this, and yeah, so this wooden house, yeah, we're going to close that hunting cabin as well. So I will come back, and we will pick up right where we've left off. Let's pause it as we end it, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it. And it looks like we're in okay shape. We only have 22 food, but we're surviving, and it's still in the middle of summer, so we have some time to, you know, kind of recover from those houses sucking up that extra food. So let me know if you have any questions or comments, and I hope to see you in the next episode. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Bye-bye.